Hey Loc babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen. I am a loctician here in the state of Connecticut. So if you love all things locks and lifestyle, definitely stay tuned. So in today's video, we are going to discuss the truth about loc extensions. So if you are someone considering loc extensions, you don't want to miss this. Loc babes, welcome back. So let's first discuss what loc extensions are. Loc extensions are a method that we use in the loc community to extend your natural loc. So you can take your locks from this to this. So what happens is some people don't feel confident with having their locks be super short. So they want the length immediately. That's why they're called loc extensions. Okay, so there are two types of loc extensions. You have natural hair extensions and you have synthetic hair extensions. So let's discuss them both. Natural hair extensions is made from actual human hair fibers, which are crocheted into a loc. I will insert some pictures in here so you can see. The loc is then integrated with your normal hair. So you can crochet it to the end and then you'll have length, or some people even have it braided within their hair to intertwine it into the loc and then they'll crochet it in. For synthetic loc extensions, it is a fiber. It's almost like braiding hair. The braiding hair that you get from the beauty supply store, that can also be added with crocheting it to the end of your hair or braiding it into the end of your hair. There are definitely pros and cons for both natural and synthetic and crocheting and braiding. Okay, so the pros for adding extensions are you get instant length, you get instant volume as well. You can add so many to your hair where your hair is instant volume, where you have instant volume and you don't have to wait until it matures, and you have immediate styling. You can put your hair in ponytails, you can put buns, you can do half up, half down, you can do all types of styles once you have the length. It's also a pro for those of us who do not want to go through the maturing process of locks. So if you feel like as soon as I get it from this chair, I want locks today, this is something that may be favorable to you. On the other hand, the cons of using extension: if you have a terrible install, you can actually cause more stress to your hair. So the weight of the hair extension, whether it's human or synthetic, can actually start to cause you distress within your scalp. They can break off. So if the extensions are not made strong enough, they can pop off, they can slip off, and you can have some unevenness throughout your head. It's also a little bit more difficult to find the texture and color of your hair if your hair is any other color than black. You would have to dye the extensions to match your hair using the same dye that you used. And last but not least, it will absolutely slow down the maturing process for your actual hair, especially if it is braided into your hair. So if you start your locks with braid locks and you use whether it's human or synthetic hair into your hair, it will slow down your hair maturing because you have an unnatural fiber that is embedded in the hair. If you use the same method for adding it to the end of your hair can't bud as it normally would. So it's also going to take it's going to take a lot more time for your locks to mature organically. So one of the myths I often hear is loc extensions look just like your hair. That's just completely not true, especially if your locks are not maintained properly. Most times you can see where your hair ends and the loc begins, or you can actually see the hair that is braided into the natural hair. You can also see the difference from the new growth of the loc that is being either interlocked or retwist and where the extension actually began. Another myth that I just wanted to put in there is that loc extensions can be added to any hair. This also is simply untrue. If you have a looser texture or a finer grade of hair, the heavier the extension is, the more it's going to pull at the root of your hair. So just because you have hair doesn't mean that loc extensions are for you. You want to actually look into what you're doing. You want to find the right hair. You want to find the right loctician who knows what they're doing to actually get you the best look and the least amount of stress on your hair. Something else you want to take heed to is you can install them by yourself. Yes, I know you've seen so many DIY girlies who are just installing their extensions by themselves, whether they're just doing box braids and letting them grow out, or whether they're actually doing the crochet method to lengthen their hair. You can also damage your hair by doing this. If you are not skilled in the crochet method in adding or reattaching your locks, you can actually create holes in your natural hair. So you don't want to create any holes in your natural locks. In the braiding method, you can braid it in a way where the hair can also just slip out. So you definitely want to go to a professional if you are seeking extensions of any kind. I do have some tips for you to maintain your extensions if you get them. You want to make sure that you are consistently checking your scalp, especially if you have synthetic extensions. Synthetic extensions can be itchy and irritable on your scalp and can cause abrasions, rashes, and irritation on your scalp. So you definitely want to be careful. Synthetic extensions are also heavier. They're denser because honestly, it's not real hair. So with natural hair extensions, you also want to be careful about the weight. It can also cause thinning and just tension at the root. All right, so you want to just not only moisturize your scalp, you want to moisturize your locks as well. You want to refrain from super tight styles that will allow them to just pop off or pull off or break off. You want to just take care of them like they are your natural hair, but you want to do less is more, basically. Less is more with extensions. You have to keep an eye out on them, and you do have to get them checked regularly by a professional. All right, so there are definitely things to consider before you just dive into getting lock extensions. The first thing you want to consider is, will you be using natural hair extensions or will you be using synthetic hair extensions? After you decide that, you want to decide the method that you will add them in. Will you add them in with braiding or will you add them with crochet? After you have decided that as well, now you want to look at your budget. Lock extensions can range anywhere from $700 to $4,000. You want to really do your research and find the person who is best for you. You want to look at their resume, you want to see pictures, you want to see not only pictures of the installation, but please make sure you ask them for updated pictures. Because what we have right now is a slew of locticians who are just adding braiding hair into people's hair. And everybody's installation process looks beautiful. But what you should be concerned about is the after. You want to make sure that you ask them to see reviews of their clients from a year onward. So yes, again, everybody's install looks perfection. It looks chef's kiss. But I want to see that same client a year later, 2 years later, and 3 years later. That'll tell you how your extensions will look. Not the day of installation, but 366 days after the installation, you ask for those pictures, okay? It would also probably do you justice if they do have an Instagram or a TikTok and they tag the client in. If it's an old video, I would reach out to that person. Hi, you may not know me. My name is Jen, but what was your experience with said person to do your lock extensions? Would you recommend them? Do you have any issues? Do you have any qualms? Definitely do your research. This is not only a pretty costly investment, this is an investment overall, right? And you don't want to have buyer's remorse. Something else you want to consider is your hair health. Is your hair in a naturally healthy state where you can definitely withstand extensions? If you already have scalp issues or thinning or hair loss, hair extensions might not be right to you because they're just going to prolong the injuries that you have to your scalp. Also, in my opinion, hair extensions are not a permanent solution. They are to be removed. So if you want hair extensions for a time because you want your hair to be locked now, or you want your locks to grow, maybe in like a year where you do have a length that you're looking for with your own natural locks, that's when you take your extensions out. Hair extensions to me are not a lifetime thing. They're definitely made to be removed. And you also want to consider your lifestyle. If you are somebody who has to have your hair in a ponytail or in a tight style or up and out the way all the time, are hair extensions best for you? Just remember the tension that you're putting on your own hair for a look of just having long, luscious locks.
Hey, Loc babes. So what had happened was the storage on my phone actually decided that it was full. So my video cut out and I was talking to myself for probably another 7 minutes or so. So I'm just going to end this video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions regarding lock extensions, either synthetic or human hair, definitely leave it down in the comments below. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe. Mwah. Until next time.